All right, everyone, this is Marco Palmero, founder of Ulysses in Dubai. And in this video, I want to discuss why individual investors should not work with us from a deal flow perspective if they're looking to acquire or invest in a business in the UAE and Middle East. We receive many inquiries on social media from individual investors looking to diversify their portfolio or generate additional income and buy a business to do that. And the problem is that many times we're forced to turn down these opportunities simply because we're not able to provide the right amount of help, the right amount of support to these individuals. Now, some of the reasons behind it are that these clients are just not a fit for us, and I'm going to go over the reasons in a second. But the point is also that our deal flow services are excellent for companies that want to get multiple transactions through the door on a consistent basis. So they work for long term, and after 15-20 days of ramping up the entire process, companies can expect to get opportunities on a consistent basis. And so they can analyze the market and get deals and continue their process, their execution without diverting their efforts, diverting their focus. So many times we work with businesses that just want to receive opportunities and then focus on the execution and skip all the steps in between. That is something that companies value a lot, and rightfully so, because they can address and to some extent understand the market a lot better and a lot quicker. And so our deal flow services are perfect fit for them because we identify, qualify, and present opportunities, and then they can just focus on negotiation and closing. When it comes to individuals investors, instead, the process is pretty much the same, but there are some challenges that get in the way. First one being individual investors generally have smaller budgets compared to big companies, and their requirements are actually narrow. So an individual investor, based on our experience and the inquiries we got, is looking for assets that generate cash so he can see a return on his money immediately, and also assets that might not need him to be around. So he's looking for sort of like a passive investment in business that is turnkey. I'm not saying this is a business that cannot be found. I'm just saying these businesses are more difficult to find, especially if you reduce your budget, because the smaller the business, the higher the probability you're going to need to be involved in the daily operation in one way or another. Now, if we're talking about businesses like laundromats and vending machines in the US, fine, that is a completely different story. But when discussing UAE and Middle East, it's actually a lot harder to find opportunities that are like that. And the opportunities that are smaller in size might be a perfect fit for somebody like a doctor, a CPA, or somebody who already has expertise and is just looking for a ready operation to plug in that expertise and start operating the business right away. So I've seen many professionals buy a business, but they already had the talent and the expertise to then work in the business on their own. And so they were basically providing the knowledge. They were going to run the thing and be there on a daily basis. They were just looking for a vehicle that was already established that they can jump into to build their operations in UAE and Middle East. That, of course, is a little bit of a different scenario because you're going to be actively involved in the business, while individual investors generally look for something that is more passive. And so in order to do that, you either increase the amount of money that you're willing to invest or access leverage and do other and structure the deal in other ways. But if you're looking to invest a tiny amount of capital, it's actually harder to find a business that is small in size, turnkey, and also cash flowing. And in most cases, if it is cash flowing, the cash flow might be very, very small, and it might take you a long period of time to get a return on your money. So I'm bringing up these things because many times we discuss with investors, and of course, we always wish to provide the maximum amount of value, and that's why we take on only a few engagements each quarter, because we want to make sure we can deliver and provide a lot of acquisitions that are off market, that are exclusive, and that have low competition, and they're highly lucrative. Problem is, if the premises are not right and the criteria are not actually a match for this particular market, it becomes impossible for us to deliver on that, and we cannot really help the individual. And so this particular target, so the individual investor, is not a fit for us as a business.